This is Linda Rogers from Planning Within Reach. So I'm going to show you how to look up the investment fee for a mutual fund or ETF that you may have in your portfolio. This is really important to do because these fees are not super transparent. So you might not know what the fee is for a given mutual fund. It's not always on the statement, but it is easy to get. It's just you have to know where to look. But also these fees, it's not a check that you're writing every year, but it is a fee you're paying and it eats away at your return. And we do know that what you pay for is not what you get. So in fact, it's the opposite. Research shows that these active mutual funds that do charge higher fees, the majority don't beat an index fund that's lower cost, or if they do, not by enough to justify their fees and not consistently. So I'm going to do a couple examples with you. Go ahead and you can open up a Google search window and type in VTI. That'll be the first one that we look up. You'll see different links that come up, and so you can click on the Vanguard one. It is a Vanguard fund. And then you'll get a snapshot here, kind of a profile page. You see here expense ratio. So that is the fee, and it's going to be listed as a percentage, so 0.03%. Very low cost. An index fund, you should expect it to be about 0.3% or lower. There are index funds that are higher cost, but again, if you see that, you should look at potentially moving to something that is lower cost, that has the exposure you're looking for. There are plenty of options now at Vanguard, Schwab, TD Ameritrade, Fidelity, where you really don't have to settle unless, of course, it's in your 401k fund, and then you may be limited. So then we'll go to another example. You can type in PEMMX. Click on the Putnam link, since this is a Putnam fund, and actually just you'll come to the top here, you'll click on expenses to get you down to where I was. So that's expense ratio. What you pay, that is the net expense ratio. You may see it listed that way. That is the fee that you want to look for. So I had a new client that came to me with this fund, and the fee for them was 1.33%. So we listed the name of the fund and it had an A at the end. So that's how they knew it was a Class A fund. For this video, I'm going to talk about Class A, B, C. So you do see this tips, with mutual funds, some mutual funds that charge these sales fees. Class A is when you're paying a sales charge upfront when you buy the fund. Class B is when you're paying a fee when you sell the fund. And Class C tends to have a higher expense ratio, but maybe a sales fee when you sell it in a year or so. So for, again, the upfront fee, which is the Class A, you can see it usually ranges between 2 to 6%. And this is reflective of that. So the lower, if you're putting less money into the fund, it's going to be that 5.75%. So really high upfront fee that you don't get back. Class B, it's going to be, again, starts at 5% if you sell the fund within a certain period of time. It's not until you hold the fund for 7 or more years that you don't have to pay that charge. And then Class C, if you hold it for a year or less, you do also have to pay a fee on the way out. It's interesting just to even hear how people end up in these funds, these higher fee funds. Sometimes they just don't know, or they might be in it because they're working with an advisor that does put them into that, which is why it's really important just to work with a fee-only advisor. That is an advisor that gets paid based on a project fee or assets under management. They are not getting a kickback in terms of which investment they put you in. So you don't have to worry about them putting you into an A fund because they might get a percentage of that sales fee. So they're incentivized to do that. Okay, so that hopefully just helps you where you can look at the different holdings in your portfolio. You can just list an Excel spreadsheet with all the funds, look up all the expense ratios, and you can kind of hone in on parts of your portfolio where you may be able to lower the fees and maximize your return potential. My name is Linda Rogers, owner of Planning Within Reach.